I won't tell the whole story to bore those that have already heard it. And most people, you're here for you. I'll just give you a little context.
Yeah.
A little context so we all can land on the same page. I would bet to say all of us on this call know one thing, that we are meant for more. That's a fact. There's another level of life, another level of abundance, another level of freedom, another level of choices that you desire, or you wouldn't be here. You'd be doing something else. So if we all can agree that we're meant for more, then our only task is to find the path that aligns with our soul, model proven practices, and obsessively go after the person we're meant to be, not the one we're settling.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Hustle. And I'm here today with one of my favorite mentors out there ever that I've been blessed enough to know. He's a best-selling author. He's a co-founder of Mastermind.com with his partner, Tony Robbins. Mr. Dean Graziosi, how are you today, Dean?
I'm so good. Good to be here with you. And good, I got to see you in person and spend a couple days together just a couple weeks ago, which was awesome.
I know.
So it's a pleasure to be here with you.
I know. Still pinching myself when I think about it. It was such a wonderful experience that I'm hoping to repeat next year. We'll see how that goes.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, hope you'll be rooting for me for sure. And if you could please share very briefly how you got here, like a brief summary of your story, getting into the knowledge industry and what you were doing before and that turning point in your life.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'll start here. Thank you for being here today. Those of you listening or watching, you have a lot of options in the world and you're here with us. I won't tell the whole story to bore those that have already heard it. And most people, you're here for you. I'll just give you a little context.
Yeah.
A little context so we all can land on the same page. I would bet to say all of us on this call know one thing, that we are meant for more. That's a fact. There's another level of life, another level of abundance, another level of freedom, another level of choices that you desire, or you wouldn't be here. You'd be doing something else. So if we all can agree that we're meant for more, then our only task is to find the path that aligns with our soul, model proven practices, and obsessively go after the person we're meant to be, not the one we're settling to be. And that's why you listen to a podcast like this. It's why you attend events. It's why you read books. It's why you buy courses. It's why you become a part of a coaching program, because we know there's another level of us that needs to be unlocked. So I share that in the context of my life is, as a kid, I wasn't great at school, so I never went to university. I didn't go to college. I barely got out of high school, and I started working on cars in a collision shop. And I started getting some momentum, fixing wrecked cars, and then selling wrecked cars. And then I bought my first rundown apartment house, and I started that. And I started to get momentum. In fact, in my 20s, I had Dean Collision Center and Dean Auto Sales and some apartments. I wasn't doing insanely well, but I was doing way better than most people in my family. But you know that burning thing when you're doing something that's starting to get momentum, but you just know that's not the path you're supposed to be on. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're listening, I'm guessing you felt this way. You felt this way in the past, so you feel that way now. It's like everybody around me is going, bravo, look at you have your own collision center. You're doing better than your parents. You're doing better than anyone you know. You're on your way up. And I'm like, yes, but I feel like I'm living a lie because my heart knows that I'm just missing something. And Tony Robbins was the first guy that got me to buy a course. I bought a course from him 27 years ago. And the moment I got his course, I realized what I was meant to do. I learned a ton from that man. I still practice. He's my dearest friend and my business partner. But 27 years ago, 28 years ago, I learned fundamentally things like life happens for us, not to us. We can use our past as leverage and momentum, not our anchor, that we can change our story. We can shift our beliefs. All these things that are fundamentally still a part of my life. Things that if you're here, you've heard. But the second thing it did is it made me realize I gave Tony Robbins money for the things that he experienced, or he learned from other people, or he learned from Jim Rohn. And I'm like, sign me up. I want to be in an industry where I can sell information. It impacts people's lives. I don't have to pay for that information. I don't have to store it in a warehouse. I don't have to fix it. I was in the collision shop, so I don't have to paint it. I don't have to wash it. Like, All I have to do is extract it from my life and from my life experience in my head, turn it into a product. I can impact people's lives and have no glass ceiling. That's all I thought about. And buying that course shifted my life in those two ways. He taught me some amazing things, and I said, I'm going to be in the knowledge industry, hands down. And I think it's the path most all of us should be on. Once you understand that your life experience, the troubles you went through, the passions you have, or the expertise and skills you've created are beyond valuable to those that want them. And when you learn to turn that into an asset, whether it's a course or a coaching program or a workshop, a mastermind, a community, a book, a podcast, when you learn to transfer that, when you realize the value in that, and you realize you can impact others, create purpose for yourself, and have an unlimited opportunity for growth and success, I think it's the greatest industry in the world. And that was the path I took, and that was my story. So I just want to tell you, no matter where you are in this journey, I've been broker than broke. I've questioned myself, but it all came from understanding the value of selling information done the right way. And that's why we formed mastermind.com, to help others do the same.
Why would someone, pay me for information that I have?
Great question. First off, we are drowning in information. That's a fact. But we are lacking wisdom.
Yes. That's a
Everybody
keyword.
has an idea. Everybody has a thought. Everybody can do a YouTube video. The right courses designed in the right way, and the right coaching or the right mastermind creates transformation, not inspiration. And I think that is what I learned from Tony Robbins, and that's what him and I do so well.
Can you think about a moment in your business where just shifting your mindset led you to success, where maybe you were about to give up, or you made a shift in that mindset and that brought a result?
I don't know about you guys listening and you, Carolina, and maybe I'm off, but I still have a pessimist that lives inside of me.
Me too.
I still walk in rooms where I might be the most successful person in the room, and I'll have a voice say, should you be here? What if they find out you're not that smart? It literally still lives inside of me. I've just been able to notice and recognize that voice and have a stronger voice that says, that's not true. We are unstoppable. I can do whatever I like. So I just want to share with everybody, if you still have that voice and say, oh, I just can't get rid of it. Maybe you don't. But I want to say those shifts because of mindset happen all the time. I had those two voices competing, and I'm lucky that I analyzed both, and I realized the voice of telling me it will never work. I said, is that really who I want in charge of my life? And at the end of the day, I said, would I rather quit and not know, or would I rather give it all of me? And whatever happens, whether I win or lose, I know that I went after it. And the decision was, I'm going to just give it all of me. And if I fail trying it my hardest, then okay. Then I'll learn, I'll dust off, and I'll figure another way. But I know I'm meant for more. I'm meant to do more. I'm meant to impact more.
I also wanted to ask you a little bit about content, because I think something that I hear from people who want to get into the knowledge industry, some of them don't want to create content, or don't want to show up, don't want to appear on camera, don't want to talk, whatever, right? So for you, I know that content is an important part of your strategy. I follow you on social media. You're always putting new content and doing webinars and everything you do. So how is your content strategy? How has it developed over the years? And also, what can you tell people who are scared of creating content?
Here's what I want to say. Thank you for the compliment on my content, but in comparison to most, I don't produce the amount of content that most people do. Alex Hormozi is a dear friend. The machine he's created on creating content. Level. That is just, and I helped him lay out that plan 3 years ago. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, that's not me. I'm a major introvert. I don't like showing my personal life. I got to work really hard to show my personal life. And I do just enough so people know I'm alive and they know what I'm doing. But what I want to share with everybody is Alex loves creating content. He loves it. He wants to create it every day. But what I realized that I wish someone told me earlier is, don't pick someone else to model because of their success. Pick someone who aligns with who you are. Because I want to tell you, most of my life, my success in this industry has come from direct response marketing. Most of my revenue doesn't come because I have a huge following and then they just go buy my stuff. I know a lot of people. So I have mastered direct response marketing. So I don't mind paying for my clients because then they see it, they get value. And the byproduct of being a direct response marketer is that my social media grows because people buy or see my stuff and go, I like this guy. I'm going to follow him on social. You may decide you never want to follow him. And I think that's the important thing to know is build this around the human you are for the lifestyle you want, and then model proven practices of someone who does it like that. Like I tell everybody, you need to find the person when you watch, it fills your heart because there's so many options. But I want to tell you, if you get to be you, you will build a tribe of people that want just what you have. And that's enough to have a thriving business that you love.
Like, how do you maintain that loyalty through the years where people keep coming back, they attend your events?
And I would just say that when you focus on humans, when you don't just fall in love with your product, you actually fall in love with your clients. I know that might sound a little foo-foo to some of you, but when you fall in love with your clients like they were family, if you knew you were creating a course or a coaching program or a community for your family, wouldn't you just put a little extra love in it? But what I really love is behind the scenes that nobody's staring at, they don't see. People see a big launch. They see a big Tony and Dean launch or a big McConaughey launch. What I think they don't see is how much time, effort, and energy we obsess on the client experience. What happens on day one? How do we meet them where they are? How do we not let them give up on themselves? When it gets difficult, instead of saying, well, people give up, go, no, I'm not letting them give up. I'm going to do what it takes to get them in. I want to let them know that we care, that they have a family here, that they're not doing it alone. All the things people focus on with marketing. So the first thing I would say is fall in love with your client. Because if you fall in love with your client, then you will fall in love with their outcome. And therefore, you have to fall in love with your product.
I love that. What are some of the steps that you guys in your company and Mastermind and all the businesses you have, when somebody buys, right? What's the customer experience like? Like some tips or some advice you can share with somebody who's launching their first course maybe, and they want to give this amazing experience. Maybe they don't have the team that you have, of course, but what happens? Somebody purchases, what happens next?
When someone says yes to your product, you have to find a way for them to digest, to taste, to get a result from you as fast as humanly possible. So if I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but in your product, what you deliver, even if it's coaching, anything you do, make it so as soon as they say yes, there is something immediate that gets them to taste, to get a result, to get a reaction, to go, oh, that was good. Let me try this. Oh, heck, what's next? What's next? What's next? And think of that path. The other thing too, so many people will get overwhelmed because someone will send them a course with 10 different modules and this piece and that piece. And then they go in, it's like going into a college and there's 4,000 classes, but there's no guidance counselor.
Yeah.
And you didn't get an agenda. Give them a path, give them a plan, give them a first step, get them to digest, and they'll recognize that you're different than everybody else.
So that's key. That's amazing. So we talked last year. We talked about AI a little bit. It's been a year now since our last interview. How are you seeing AI shaping the current and future state of the knowledge industry? Are you excited about it? Concerned about it? Do you think people can take advantage of it? What's the influence you're seeing?
Okay, so I'm always going to look through. My brain looks through the lens of optimism.
Yes.
And I've also been around long enough to know that most of the things we fear get self-regulated by buying habits. So I see people running ads saying, hey, use my AI and it builds everything for you. Those things are going to get burned out and realize everything, hear me, everything needs your human touch. Everything needs personalization. Everything needs the uniqueness of your story, your breadth, your depth. AI has completely changed the game. I mean, to have the opportunity done right, AI will change the game forever. Where it's going to fail is when people just say, AI, do it all, and let me hope checks hit my mailbox. Like, that's where it's going to fail. So I don't believe, I heard somebody say AI isn't going to take your job. Someone who knows how to use AI right might take your job. And I think I think when it's used right, when you understand it is a leverage, it is an accelerator, it is a distance, it shortens the distance from conception to results, absolutely condenses, some things condense months into weeks, some weeks into hours, some hours into seconds. That is true. That's where we are. So I'm not scared of it at all.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, so you mentioned it before. Let's talk a little more about your collaboration with Tony.
It went from a brand new company to a damn mission, a movement overnight. You remember it was insane, and it's been an incredible journey. And now we're just completely obsessed on delivering people what they need, because and I'll talk about it here in a minute if you don't mind, but we're doing an event this year, and we're literally calling the event "The Game Has Changed," because it has changed completely. The opportunity to be in this industry now is completely different. And when I say the game has changed, Tony and I talked about this. The game has changed because I think with this knowledge industry, you can have life work integration, where you don't even know where your work ends and life begins because you love both of them. And I think the game has changed, meaning you can have something that has no glass ceiling, that fills your heart, and still can make you great money. That's different. But then also the game has changed because some of the things that took so long to figure out, what exactly should I sell? How do I structure it? How do I write a headline? How do I name it? How do I price it? Now with the help of AI, you can get those answers in seconds. Yeah. How do I talk to my ideal client? How do I identify? Where do I find them online? All of those things have changed. So that's been and we're more excited because some of these things we dreamed up years ago, Carolina. So I believe that our event that we're doing, The Game Has Changed. We're going to do things we've never done before. We go live once a year, but we've never done anything like this. We're going to show people how to be one step ahead. We're going to do a 3-day event. Day one, our whole goal is people are going to leave and go, oh my God, I do have a valuable asset. This is what it is. This is how I'm going to deliver it. This is how I'm going to name it. This is what I'm going to price it. Literally like we've never done before. That's just day one. And day two, we're going to actually build the campaign together. Day three, we're going to help people show them how to launch it and teach it with confidence. Again, unlike anything we've ever done, and I'd love to invite everybody listening. It's June 13th through the 15th. Maybe you can tell them how they can register for that, because it's definitely going to be one for the record books.
Yes. So June 13th, 14th, and 15th. And all you have to do is go to carolinaslink.com to register. Or if you're watching this on Instagram or anywhere else, there's going to be more information in the description as well on how to grab a spot for this online event. So finally, my last question for you. When you think about the future, about legacy, what's the message? What's the legacy that you would love to leave behind?
If I look at it purely through business, is that our greatest asset is our life experience. And if we can help people go faster in their life by sharing, whether that's being in this industry or just being a mentor to others, I think that's one of the greatest gifts we could give others, is our life experience. If I say on a personal note, is I hope that I give my children the tools and skills to live a fulfilled life. But I hope I can lay my head on the pillow for the last time someday and say, I did everything in my power to give them the skills, the capabilities, and the wisdom to live a fulfilled and joyful life. So that's my two.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So Dean, thank you so much.
All right, Carolina, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, keep up the good work. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see everyone on June 13th. Take care.
Thank you.